I guess when I started in the business, obviously my granddad, we just had coffee. Um, but it got to 1986, and that's when we moved from South Molton Street to where we are now in Duke Street. And there we had a lot more space. So I suppose we'd often thought about doing tea, but there was no room whatsoever to have coffee and tea at South Molton Street. Anyway, we ended up with more room. So I was sent to a tea suppliers or tea importers in the city of London to kind of learn about the tea trade. So I suppose I was about 22 then, and I remember the first time I went there, they lined up an enormous long table full of tea in bowls for me to taste, the same way as I was used to trying coffee. But I think I got about into 5 out of all of these bowls, and I couldn't taste anything at all because my mouth was just full of tannins. So I realised that tasting tea was going to be nothing like tasting coffee. But gradually over time and spending quite a lot of time there, I started to, learn more about what tea was like. And I suppose at the beginning we kind of assumed that all our customers who were coffee drinkers would all going to be naturally tea drinkers, which turned out not necessarily be the case. Some of them were saying, well, I'm not interested in tea whatsoever. But then gradually, obviously, we got customers coming to us for tea. And I guess it really took off from there. And it's opened up a whole nother world of flavours to us and our customers. Obviously, my grandfather, he learnt all about tea when he was studying at the in all the different grocery shops he was working in and with the Grocers Institute. But his first love, of course, was coffee. But it's interesting. In many ways, there's more variety in tea than there is in coffee. Obviously, there's green, oolong, and black, but then there's all the herbal teas and endless combinations of those. So really, it's like a never-ending journey in tea. But I suppose for me personally, I like different tea at different times. This is black tea. This is Higgins Afternoon Blend, which I really like in the afternoon. It's why it's called that. I tend only to drink tea black these days, even black tea. I don't put milk in anything. But I like green tea as well and oolong tea. They all have a different feeling to them. This one I'd have with cake, possibly, or something sweet. But other teas, obviously green teas, you could have with savoury foods, oolong teas as well, or just simply on their own. It's always been a challenge with tea bags for us because obviously when you think of a tea bag, you naturally tend to think of something quite cheap and cheerful, builder's tea, something to brew quick, and it's going to be really, really strong, sort of this kind of tea that you can stand a spoon up in. But we obviously wanted to keep the quality of a loose leaf tea, or not entirely lose that. And how do you do that? Well, the tea leaves themselves, they need room to expand and unwind. That is how the flavour of tea is developed, through the unwinding, unfurling of the leaves and the release of the flavour. And in order for them to do that, they need to be able to do that. So we went down the route of the pyramid shaped bag because that at least allows that to happen. But you've also got the convenience of being able to throw the bag away very easily, which loose people do find with loose leaf tea a problem. And obviously a lot of our customers also want tea bags because they're running a commercial operation. For them, disposing of loose leaf tea out of pots, it makes it really difficult. So we've done our very best to produce tea bags to the highest quality that is possible, knowing full well that at the end of the day, really, there's nothing to beat loose leaf tea.